All right. Hello, everyone. My name is John Edwards. With me is Zeke Baker, and together we make the Dad's Drink of Bourbon, wherever you are, whatever time it is. Thanks for making us a part of your day. And we're here. We're live. It's Dad's Drinking Bourbon Live. We like to just pop up, Zeke, and not tell people when we're coming on, don't we?
Well, I mean, that's a fair portion of the equation, but then there's also just kids and life and like, all right, well, we're going to get together tonight at some point. We'll see when that happens and how early or late that may be.
True. And we have our friend. Let's just get right to it. We have our friend Tom Janica live from Chicago, Illinois, the Windy City. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're good.
Quarantining hard?
You left out fellow Wolfpack member, son. Jesus.
Well, I was gonna let us get there. I figured he would, give us something to talk about. But yes, he is a member of the Wolfpack, and it all started. There was just one of us running through the forest or running through the desert, and
I think we got to flip it. Running through the distilleries of Kentucky.
Yeah. And then there were two, then I met Zeke and I looked at this. I go, what is this? And then our wolf pack had grown to two. And then we met Tom and Benton and our wolf pack was four.
I don't know. We got to put an asterisk by Barrel 2 Benton. He's the adopted child.
Barrel 2 Benton.
He is Barrel 2 Benton. For those of you that don't know, Benton is the one who wanted the Jack Daniels barrel proof that nobody else liked.
3 separate blinds he puts it in over and over. It lost every time.
I felt so bad because he kept going to Jeff Arnett. He's like, "Can you please just do one more blind?" Like, and we thought we were gonna put the one that everybody liked the best against the one that everybody liked in the middle. But Benton had like slipped Jeff a 20. And said, "Can you put the one I like in there again?" And every single time we were like, "This sucks." I mean, it doesn't suck, but it's like, this is not, people are not going to like this one.
Jeff felt so bad. He let Benton take a big sample of it home. He's like, just take it.
He let him fill up the whole bottle.
Yeah.
You don't have 750. I think you're about 750 mLs out of there during the pick process. Just so you kept hammering it down. Everybody else was like, "All right, man, this is your jam. Go for it."
I mean, what are those bottles? I mean, it's like 300 milliliters in the
375s.
The 375. Yeah.
Are they 375s? So he ended up taking a 375, and then I don't know what else he did, but it was, man, he just went for it.
He loved it. Loves Barrel 2.
I mean,
with him to the Bahamas, crushed it there.
Did he do that?
Yep.
I mean, to his credit, he picked it every single time. And to everyone else's credit, we didn't.
He never picked Barrel 1, just straight to 2.
So what's in the glass for everybody?
I'm going with the only good Bardstown worth buying. That apple brandy one, the Copper and Kings apple brandy finish, 11-year MGP.
I gotta tell you, have you tried the yak finished one?
Is that the newest one?
Yeah, the Chateau Labrard.
Nope.
Now Zeke and I, we haven't had Discovery 2, to be fair. The first round of Discovery Fusion and the Piper Fabbit, we did a review, and we said, I love the nose, love the taste. And the finish, it got kind of wiry on us. It was, if it was NASCAR, it crashed into the wall on turn 3. But the new yak finished, I mean, it was all yak in the front and then bourbon on the back end. I loved it.
So buy it.
I gotta find it.
So I've seen that on the boards some and some other stuff, and it's almost like when they drop their releases, it's such of a cluster bomb. It's hard to keep up because it's like they don't put one thing out at a time. Like, hey, here's 3 new releases. Like, oh, unless you emailed me about it or something, or somebody's talking about it, I missed half of it.
Yeah, which one do I spend 120 on?
So our friend Alex said, "I'm tired. It's late. I'm going to bed. I'll watch tomorrow. please post pictures of Zeke's haircuts. So Zeke, this is now a good time to mention that this is a good time to mention Zeke is rocking his dry duck hat and dry duck shirt. And thank you, dryduck.com, for sending us some clothes. I'm wearing this kind of red shirt with an anvil on it. I don't know if you can see it. I got a microphone in the way. I got a red shirt with an anvil on it. Zeke's got a cool t-shirt. We're rocking the t-shirts tonight, but go to dryduck.com, use code bourbon15 for 15% off at dryduck.com. Thank you to our friends at Dryduck for making us look good on this show, because they know we have faces for radio. So but somebody else, there was a couple other things in here. Oh my God, Zeke is quite fuzzy.
So John, when you rock that shirt, does the wife get the impression you're planning to drop the hammer later?
No. You know better.
The band hammer.
This is Eric said the Goodwood Honey Ale finish Bardstown is really good. I heard that. That is the beer finished Bardstown that just came out. Our friend Tarek over at Elixir Spirits down in Spring Hill, Tennessee. Tarek always has good picks at his store. We love him. You love him. He says the yak is good.
Dibs on his yak.
His yak, he has a 93, 94 over there that Zeke helped pick with him. That is really, really good.
There was a 99 too.
Is there a 99 too?
Yeah. No, Tom, we did a thing with the Lord last week.
Oh, okay.
Well, not them. It was the rep from Heavenly, the importer.
Uh-huh.
It ran for probably an hour and a half or more, maybe a little longer. Honestly, like super informative. Learned a ton about how the Lord does everything. Some stuff about Armagnac in general, how the houses can vary, etc. We will definitely have her on at some point in the future. Like it was one of those things where, like those random lectures you had like back in school where you're like, oh shit, this is actually cool. I'm going to pay attention.
Yeah.
One of those where you just get the adrenaline going and you just dive in and can't
it was
the goes away and you just focus 100%.
So it was like the Jeff Arnett experience, basically.
Literally, I like messaged John as soon as it was over, like, we have to do this at some point.
But definite shout out to DeLord. I love what they're doing over there, and they're putting out yak at a decent price. That's the thing that's even better. I mean, some of those yaks are coming out, they're like $150, $200, $250, and you see what you could do in DeLord, and you're like, oh man, you guys are actually putting out things at a reasonable price. Thank you. Before we keep talking about yak, I want to let you know our friend Gene Curtis is on, and he goes, any good place in Clarksville you would recommend? I mean, you got to go see Billy over at Bill's Package Store. Thank you for tuning in from Clarksville. You're right up the road from us. So cheers, bud. We always like a new person coming on. Good starter cognac. Kyle, we don't know a lot of cognac. We know a lot of Armagnac, and DeLord is a great place to start.
Yeah, the DeLord 10-year. I'd never had it until it was part of this tasting that we did with the live stream. Literally, it was, I think Tarek said it retails for $30, $35 maybe. Really good profile. Like $35, you just could crush it. And I don't think anybody would find it off-putting unless they just don't like yak, period. And that'd be cognac or Armagnac.
That's the blue label, right? The 10-year?
It was in a sample bottle, so I don't know. And he was sold out at the time. He said distro.
Oh, look at you. I have a sample bottle. I'm so cool.
It was mailed to us from the plate people.
I'm just saying. Tarek says AEDOR is a great starting cognac. Thank you, Tarek. So, Tom, I want to ask you something, and we're going kind of behind we're pulling the curtain back. So there's a lot of time. I mean, we were sitting here waiting for you. You were late. Thank you for that. And the other thing is I have to sit here while you're late and talk to Zeke, which I hate doing. And because Zeke sits here and he literally, to use his word, use his favorite word, literally, Zeke literally sits here with his shirt off and plays Mario Kart with music blasting. So like I can't hear anything he's saying. He's just blasting music, playing Mario Kart with his shirt off. And I have to just say, I figured it out finally tonight. Zeke's body type is Will Ferrell. Like if you see,
hold on, pause. At the Four Roses event, the one Lauren said, my wife is like, he looks like Will Ferrell.
His body type is so like where it's like the skinny fat guy thing going on, where like Will Ferrell he's not a big guy, but he's like see him with his shirt off and he's got love handles. Like Zeke works out way too much and has the love handles, and Will Ferrell runs all the time too. And they just have that similar body type where it's like, it's not skinny, it's not fat, it's like somewhere in between.
I mean, you just heard him say, right? He just repped out 1001, right? Everybody heard that?
I will admit, I was in San Fran once during pharmacy school. I did end up in Chinatown and get a kimono, and there was a Halloween the following or that same year where I literally just walked around going, "Mom, the meatloaf, meatloaf."
And then the other thing that I was thinking of the whole time while you were getting on, Tom, is it so Zeke's name, he always likes to come up with a good name when he comes on here. He put Kev Hall, and I did not have the heart to tell him, so I've been on here waiting for 40 minutes.
I fucked that up, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. It's Scott Hall, and it's Kevin Nash. And for 40 minutes, I've been sitting on this waiting to tell you that you messed up. And I was just waiting. Just like the moon saw, you shit the bed again.
I wondered why you didn't say anything when you signed on, because you always make a comment, even when we're offline. I'm like,
oh no, the second I saw that, I said, I have to wait. I cannot go and do this right away. I just have to let it play out. Because I know that you picked Kevin Nash. You either wanted Kevin Nash or Scott Hall because you wanted to say that they were a member of the Wolf Pack and Tom is coming on. I understood your thought process, but you botched the delivery so bad.
Well, we still believe it. Kevin Nash is there in spirit.
Yeah.
Eric Smith that I know is a wrestling fan said Botchamania.
We'll just go with it that I'm in Nash. It was supposed to be Kev and then Nash for Nashville or Hall, whatever.
You're Kevin down the hall.
It's almost as bad as Pick and Barrel too.
Oh man. So speaking of sports, Tom, you are in Chicago. Have you been watching The Last Dance? And are you drinking moonshine there, or you're drinking clear liquid out of a mason jar?
Yeah, I like to chase my my bourbon with moonshine. It really cleanses the palate, really gets you going. Yeah, I mean, does Pam Anderson have Hep C? Of course I'm watching The Last Dance. It's a being a Chicago boy. Is no one got that? Was there like a delay in the last?
No, I totally got it. I was just waiting because I was looking at Zeke while he was taking a sip of the drink, and he's trying not to just explode with it right now.
Oh God.
I mean that is the new answer for does a bear shit in the woods?
Yeah,
that's right.
Jesus.
Brought to you from Chicago's finest. So yeah, I mean, Michael Jordan, total icon. I mean, he's the legend for which the Bulls really exist, right? So can't miss that. Double. Well, that's the Bears, but we'll go with it.
There's the Bears and the Bulls.
You do a pretty good one. I'm not gonna lie. That the Bears is pretty clutch.
You gotta, I do pick up on different accents,
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on.
Who would win in a fight, Ditka or Gad?
Of course, Ditka.
Trick
kidding?
question. Ditka is Gad.
All right.
Anyways,
So
continue.
Last Dance, right? We're talking about that. It's fascinating to see how when Jordan got into the league and started playing those first games to get the Celtics get in the playoffs, and you got Larry Bird, stacked team, and the first comment Larry Bird makes is, everybody got a piece of Jordan, but we couldn't quite hang on. It was as if God was in Jordan's body just messing with us that night. He was just smoking it, like 74-point games.
You said that wrong because you're from Chicago. It's Gad.
I don't even think Larry Bird's got that. He's not even from Boston originally, is he?
No, he is from French Lick, Indiana. He was the hick from French Lick. The best thing about Larry Bird that a lot of people would actually go watch him because he was such a country boy. He would mow his own lawn on the weekends, and people would go stand out by his house just to watch him mow the lawn on the weekend. But it's like what he wanted to do to be normal. Other funny thing that I will tell you about those Celtics championships and like playing against Jordan and all that. My dad was at all those games, but he was with drug dealers because he was an undercover narcotics detective. So he had this like belt buckle gun that you pushed a button and it came out of the belt buckle.
Like Batman?
So,
that is fucking awesome.
It's totally like Batman. So he used to wear an oversized sweater, and it was before all the stadiums. I mean, because it was the 80s. It was before all these stadiums had. My dad is so dry in his delivery. I love him. And he's so dry in his delivery, so he'll tell it very matter of fact. Like, yeah, I was at all those games at the 80s. And I go, who'd you go with? And he's like, drug dealers. And there was
casual.
Very casual. And he had one story. I remember my mom took the car it was snowing out. So she had a car and he had a truck, like an SUV. And she took the car and went shopping, and she popped open. It was an old Chevy Blazer. So she popped open the tailgate, and she comes home, and she sees like $50,000 worth of drugs in there, because we used to have to take them into Boston to get them destroyed. So every couple of weeks he'd take all the drugs down, he'd take it to the state police headquarters, and they go destroy it there. My mom goes, "Oh my God." And she comes home and she goes to my dad. She goes, "John, did you know you had drugs in the car?" And he's like, well, yeah. And she goes, "Well, what would have happened if I got pulled over?" And he said, "You would have gone to jail like everybody else."
It'd be awesome if he said, "Did you know you had drugs in the car?" And he's like, "Yeah, every Friday at 5. Load it up."
But yeah, so anyways, so that series, the first time, I mean, if you think about Jordan, he got to go through Magic. He went through Bird. He went through Magic. He went through Isaiah. Yep. He went through all these iconic teams of the 80s.
Malone.
Think of the people he robbed of championships.
Oh, yeah.
Miller,
Peyton Kemp, Malone, Stockton,
yeah. Just Reggie, I mean, I said Miller. The Sonics with Kemp. I mean, all those teams, Miami, they were all, I mean, it would have been Shaq had he not, like, left Orlando.
Well, no, I mean, he played that year he came back. So after the break, it was when Horace Grant got traded to the Magic. So that was his boy, went to the Magic, and he was playing with Penny and Shaq.
Yep. Penny Hardaway, I mean, robbed.
Still crazy that Penny, Kyle says, "Am I the only one that didn't realize how much he and Isaiah hate each other?" I mean, I think everybody knew that, Kyle. Unfortunately, the whole dream team thing and Isaiah not getting put on it, everybody knew that.
Oh, I mean, it's pro sports. There's no friends. Like it's rare.
Oh, today there is.
I think it's still a bit of a falsetto, but I mean,
basketball, they're like besties.
They hug and shake hands and keep moving. What I wonder is who believes the flu game?
The flu game. Which flu game?
There's only one.
I do. He
I
looked
know.
miserable. He was either
I'm
hungover or had the flu. Either way, he felt like shit.
I've heard hung the F over like badly. And then like when they were showing that in the documentary, it shows you clips of it. I mean, that man is sweating like a beast. But then at the same time, like during the game at the end, they're all hugging each other. You don't hug somebody that's got the flu.
Well, the other thing that I should mention is, when you said he didn't have any friends and things like that, I mean, one of the biggest things I took away from this whole series so far in the 8 episodes I've watched, I know Tom's only watched 6, so get with the program, but
Noted.
How much he made up slights or found slights. Like there was a whole thing where he was talking about, in that Sonic series where he went against Peyton and Kemp. He's like, I was at a restaurant with Ahmad Rashad and George Karl didn't come over and talk to me. And he is like, that's it. Like and Rashad was like, I knew he was going to torch him because George Karl, he's like, and Jordan's like, I played golf with him. I've hung out with George Karl like regularly. And he's like, that's how it's going to be. Okay. And then he made up that story about the guy from the 76ers that went up to him and said, nice game, Mike, after the game, but he never had actually said that. So years later, Mike was like, yeah, he never said that to me. I just needed something. Like, that's the type of guy he was. Like, he was an asshole to his teammates because he wanted to win. And he said, I had a level of expectation that people had to play to, and you have to play to my level if you want to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the type of guy that just, that's the type of guy you were going up against. There's not a lot of guys like that. It's like, I put Larry Bird in that camp. Like, Larry Bird wanted to beat you and stomp on you. Magic Johnson wanted to beat you and stomp on you. Tom Brady wants to do. I mean, that's the type of player it's those types of players, the Michael Jordan. I mean, there's reasons why all those players I'm mentioning won lots and lots and lots of games and lots and lots and lots of championships. It's like, you have to have that mentality that you not only want to win, you want to destroy the other person.
Yeah. I mean, I think Jordan's dad said it best, right? If you want Jordan to accomplish something, just tell him he can't do it.
I like Kyle just said Tom Brady wants to high five me in Tampa Bay.
He's going to be competitive.
You can even see the competitiveness in the in the doc. Like, there was one, I can't remember which episode it was, but he's talking about the year that Barkley got league MVP, and he even like subtly just gets in there like, I should have won it that year. Then he just like goes to the question, but he makes a point to get it in there like, Chuck won it that year. I should have got it. I didn't agree. Then he'll just hurt real quick. But no, it's a weird level, and like some guys I've talked to that know some friends kind of things in there. They're just like, no, man, like those guys, they've got maybe a handful of friends at best, and then the rest, they're just out there cutthroat killing people like Tiger, Kobe. I mean, it's a different breed.
It's what it takes to win. It's a massive sacrifice. You're losing your social life and the dedication to playing the sport. He was nonstop. He was basketball 24/7, The funniest thing was Rodman, who had to take all his time off, and they had to go get him in Vegas. And then this clown shows up at practice just smoking everybody in the lap runs when Jordan's telling him to slow down so we don't have to run long laps.
Hey, Dr. Pat, I just sent you a message on Facebook. Go ahead and check it out. Sorry.
I got to get up and grab a bottle.
The dynamics of Rodman having to come in there after being with Detroit, and I think that was honestly the biggest battle. I mean, those guys earned the reputation they had. It wasn't media building that up back in those days. I mean,
they beat the crap out of players. Everything goes back then.
They were just flat out mean.
Yeah.
I like when Bill Lambier and all the, those Pistons, they would just like, I mean, it was like hockey. It wasn't even like basketball. It was like hockey.
Yep. The Rodman elbow, the back elbow.
Oh, he had that little foot move too, where he'd like just subtly, like randomly kick people that were behind him. He acted like he was just moving his legs trying to run or something.
Yep.
So one of the things that you haven't seen yet, Tom, is that Steve Kerr and Michael talk about a whole thing of, where Michael just came back. He was playing baseball, just came back. Kerr was on the team. Kukoc was there finally. And he was talking about how Jordan was kind of chipping at him in practice. And Kerr wouldn't stand up. Kerr stood up for it. He was kind of going back and forth with Michael. And then finally he punched Michael in the chest, and then Michael punched him in the face. And he said, I felt really bad. Michael's like, I felt so small because I left. And I'm like, what are you doing? You just punched the smallest guy on the team. That doesn't make you a leader. But it was one of those things where he ultimately got, he had respect for Kerr, and Kerr had respect for him after that because they talked it all out. But he's like, this guy isn't going to back down. This is who I want to go into war with.
Yep. Makes sense. Steve Kerr was the 3-point shoot monster, and you get Jordan in there and him, and it was just, you can't, block everybody. You can't defend everybody. So one of them was shooting out if they were both on the court.
Absolutely. Zeke, I know Tom missed the whole baseball stuff, but I was kind of happy that they talked about the baseball stuff in the sense of there was a whole bunch of stuff, or there was a whole bunch of talk that people thought like, hey, he left for baseball because of the gambling stuff with his dad and all that. And, he basically just came back and said, well, it's my dad. I didn't know how to play basketball without my dad anymore.
I always just assumed, from the public perspective, like, look how competitive these people are. When you accomplish literally everything you could in a sport and you still feel young and you can do it, why not go do something else? See what else you can prove. And then now you see even more in depth of the competitiveness. Like, yeah, I'm already the best at one sport. How good can I be at a second?
You think he could have made it to the majors?
I saw him. We were talking about, like, if he'd gone in there when he was younger and really honed in skills and whatnot. If nothing else, I would say for the age he was at, to go in and do what he did. It's not like he had any time to ever practice baseball for 10 years or more. And he still was able to, be competitive to a pretty large degree. I don't know many athletes that could, just do that. It'd be like walking on a golf course for the second time and, you shoot 2 over or something.
Well, there's a lot of football players. You hear about football players, like, again, not just mention his name because of where I'm from, but Tom Brady, played football and baseball. You have Bo Jackson. You have, why can't I think, Deion Sanders. You have a lot of players, even, what's the guy? He just won Oklahoma. He just won the Heisman.
The old Alabama quarterback.
No, the Chiefs quarterback. You talking about?
Not Mahomes.
Oh,
not
Mahomes?
Mahomes. It's. Why can't I think of it?
Google's failing you right now. Tom, what'd you pour?
Wolfpack, baby.
There you go.
That's a
Kyler. I didn't even Google it. I didn't even get to Google it yet. It was Kyler Murray. He did football and baseball. So you hear a lot of times there's a lot more football players that do football and baseball. You don't hear a lot about basketball players because, and what the documentary shows is that you completely have to change your body, the way you lift and the way you just attack things to do football and baseball, or do basketball and baseball. Football and baseball, at least, chest wise, things like that. Those are all muscle groups that you're working that way. You're not doing the same thing in basketball. You want to be long, lean, limber, and you don't want to have a lot of bulk to you unless you're Charles Barkley.
Yeah, he was a bit heavy set in general.
Not in
A
the
hell of a
run,
player.
not in the run with Jordan. Not when he was in there with Jordan.
I mean, you got to think about it, though. A fat man, or pudgy at the very least, getting 20-plus rebounds a game, that's smart. That's knowing where to put your body and knowing how to position. Like, I mean, that's textbook fundamental basketball at its finest. Like, he didn't out jump anybody. It wasn't like Dikembe.
I mean, the Suns gave Jordan and the Bulls a hell of a hard time. I mean, they beat him quite a few times. I mean, it was always competitive. It wasn't like, and it was because of Barkley, because he had that vicious kind of mentality on the court.
Or somebody just said, ever heard of Barry Bonds, the GOAT? I mean, Barry didn't play football, but we have Shaq. Shaq is a big guy. He was a very, very big guy in basketball. He probably could have played football and basketball too, but I don't know where the hell he'd be on the field. He was too big. The quarterback wouldn't be able to see over him to throw the ball.
My favorite portrayal of Shaq is in Blue Chips. I always wondered, like, how accurate is that? Like, is he really that slow in real life?
Neon Bedreau?
I mean, the fact you never could make a free throw, you have to kind of discredit somebody. Like, you're going to get fouled more than anybody. It's a free throw for a reason. Like, what else do you practice all day? Just stand there and practice a free throw.
But his free throws were like Barkley trying to hit a golf shot.
Oh, I know. They were awful.
Horrible.
It's terrible.
Goes to show you. Height goes a long way.
But how,
height goes a long way.
Do you not learn, like, I mean, it's the same shot over and over. Repetition's muscle memory. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I never think it was in his muscle memory. I think everything was just a prayer. Like, he'd shoot it and then just pray. So Daniel Ball says Hakeem the Dream was his biggest challenge, and then you had Clyde the Glide and Barkley to that crew. So I don't know. I mean,
Dream.
How many times did Jordan go up against Hakeem?
I thought Hakeem was older.
Yeah. Oh no, he just said I would have loved to see the Rockets go up against Jordan.
Okay.
But what else is going on, Tom?
Same old. Real bummer we got all this delay in picks, because I was looking forward to getting on the road with you guys again. But we got some good stuff lined up. I think people will be excited. Other than that, Chicago's still on lockdown for another 2 weeks, which sucks. The restaurant business is hurting, and I feel for those people. So I hope everybody's finding other avenues of revenue. What are you holding there, John?
Oh, nothing. Just a little smoked turkey.
What the? You were holding out on me? I thought you said you only had a few of those samples. Oh, John was holding out on me. That makes sense.
Yeah, I sent you all I had twice.
No. I used what was in here to send you stuff, but let's talk about this, Tom, for a second. And you mentioned the restaurant workers, and our heart goes out to them, and that's very, very important. I want to make sure we talk about that. And Zeke does not do that, but I will tell you that Bourbon charity that I have a big affinity for. We just raised $12,600 for the James Beard Foundation last Saturday playing bingo. Awesome. We will do that again. All of that is going to restaurant people. So take care of your restaurants. Order takeout. When your bartenders are doing drinks that you can get delivered to your house, make sure you do that. Tip them. Do all sorts of stuff like that. Please, please, please take care of the hospitality industry. They need you. That being said, I want to talk about this little triangle that we have here on the screen, because you two assholes talk to each other all the time and make it seem like, oh yeah, John's holding out on us. You two assholes are holding out on me 99% of the time. Let's be honest. And every once in a while, I get a bone thrown my way. Every once in a while, I'll get a goal.
In my defense, I pinged you about the Knob Creek pick. Date specific with.
Oh, I know. I couldn't get. I had some stuff go on at work, I had some
Man.
stuff going at work, and I know that. But I'm saying typically, like Zeke would get bottles, and he's like, "Where am I getting?" You know, I'm like, "Where'd you get this bottle from?" He's like, "Oh, Tom." And then, Zeke would
always took care of
specifically. I thought the three of us all were friends. I didn't realize how much kibitzing and backroom dealing was going on.
So, John, is your gold is best open yet?
Heck no.
I did take care of you. I remember asking Zeke, how many does John want?
Oh no, Zeke just said I could only get one. He didn't say how many. Zeke said you could get one gold is best. And I'm not even lying. I'm not embellishing on that. Zeke said, "Do you want one gold is best?" I didn't know I had an opportunity for multiples here.
It's a year later and you hadn't cracked it.
Well, because it was in the storage unit.
Tonight,
and now I'm going to trade it for some BTAC.
Yeah.
I got your BTAC right here. What do you want? 2016 handy? It's yours. Send me Gib.
You want another gold is best for some 2016 handy?
Let's do it. I love Gib.
So our friend Daniel says Commonwealth Tap here in Louisville, great barrel picks and bourbon slushies.
Ooh, slushies.
A big congratulations to David. He got his salary reinstated yesterday from his pay cut. He's celebrating tomorrow.
For anyone that doesn't know what a gold is best is, because not too many of them touch the boards, Tom picked a 14-year barrel from Traverse City of MGP juice a little while back. It's really.
Should we show a bottle? We need a
What's
bottle
that?
for reference.
Yeah, I mean, I would show off the phone to go with the sticker, but I finally got an upgrade.
Do you still have a gold phone, Zeke, now that you got an upgrade?
I mean, I got a couple of dead ones.
This one might be John's. It's not open.
Now,
look at that.
Now, did that
come right there?
That came from a Conan O'Brien skit, right?
That's right.
So if you want to know where gold is best came from, Google Conan O'Brien gold is best. And then somebody wanted to know about smoked oranges, and the folks over at Smoking Connie sent me a bag of smoked oranges. Zeke, I have a couple with your name on it. If you want to put them in a cocktail, it's just smoked oranges. They're pretty good. Check them out. Smoking Connie on Instagram.
Smoking Connie. Is there a website for that?
I just know the Instagram. SMOKINCONNIE.
You got to catch up with the kids, Tom.
I didn't know kids smoke their oranges until they were sent to my door.
I just laughed at Tom's like, I don't Instagram. No way, no how.
Does Tom have Instagram?
No.
Why does Flight Club not have an Instagram?
It does, actually. It's called OG Flight Club because we were the first ones. Seriously, this is not bullshit. And I don't.
Is there more than one Flight Club?
There's like 22. Yeah. It's like Mi Casita Mexican restaurants or Los Llamas or whatever.
I'm getting ready to chapter it. Dues and everything. Union dues.
Is it like franchisees that they have to give you 8% of all their sales, like because you guys were the OGs?
Yep.
Daniel says he put in an order for the oranges. So Daniel, let us know how they are when you are done with them.
Yeah, send me a PM. I want to know about these oranges. And what is this Instagram?
I actually took a picture last night. I put a picture up of my old fashioned, and then I put those smoked oranges in it, and they were very, very, very good. Admittedly, they were sent to me, but I was skeptical. I'm not going to lie. I was skeptical because Zeke and I normally do not drink a lot of cocktails. And then those smoked oranges had it was nice. I'm still drinking neat tonight, but it was nice.
So literally smoked. Like, what kind of wood are they using?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Oh, it's because you're doing a pellet grill, right?
They're not using a pellet grill. They are actually smoking them with like something else. I don't know. Maybe they are using a pellet grill. And if they are, I hope it's a Rectech.
So the random bourbon question I saw pop up on a thread earlier. Any guesses on what PHC rolls out this year?
That's a good one.
Well, it was, and granted, it was in the context of simply, everybody seems to mirror each other. Last year was the year of the rye. This year you've got Turkey putting out their oldest for the master. You got
and it's a bottled and bond. I mean, I
Yeah,
kind of feel like Bernie Lubbers wants them to do a bottled and bond PHC.
Well, I mean, you've got Buffalo Trace dropping out this new 18-year E.H. Taylor, the oldest EHT. I mean, does PHC follow suit? I mean, I thought it was pretty scientific and relevant to a degree. Everybody seems to me too gimmicky, and we all know the big boys have enough barrels sitting around of literally everything that everybody else does, where if they just want to throw it together, they can.
You think it's like they figure out what one person is doing. You hate to be that first, the first person goes and releases, and then the rest of them are like, hold on, hold my beer. And then the next one's like, hold my beer. I'm gonna top that.
Yeah, I could see Jimmy Russell doing that.
Yeah.
Hold my beer. Hold my teeth.
What are your 3 top bottled and bonds?
Period or in general?
Well, you see it up on the screen. It just says, what are your top 3 bottled and bonds?
I want us all to be on the same page for context. I mean, I'm pretty sure at least Tom and I have one common one here.
I mean, I'm sure something is pre-fire.
And I don't pour it for John.
Just because it's the one troll I have that I know, like, there's not much that gets under Zeke's skin, as you know, Tom. And for some reason, if I say pre-fire is a conspiracy and it's not true, he gets very thing I have from him.
It's a conspiracy.
Which
Your
is
screen
happening.
just went black. Things are freaking happening. I can't even see John right now.
I know.
Must because he said
My eyes probably don't hurt.
it's because he said pre-fire.
Yeah. It's the curse, man. Like this proves, to 100% pre-fire exists. John just ghosted out of his own show.
John got booted. He got booted for talking about pre-fire. Well, Zeke, it's left to us to host this. So, so specifically, as far as bottled and bond, are we talking private picks? What's on the shelf?
I would say shelf stock from any period. Let's leave it at that. But shelf
From
stock.
any period.
I don't know. I mean, I like letting folks know what's good to a degree.
That's a dangerous road.
I mean, we already teased the JW Dant, and I don't even remember. You know which DSP it is. I don't. I give.
I don't know.
Full credit.
I do not know what you speak of.
I give full credit to Tom on helping me with a lot of pre-fire knowledge. If nothing else, I'll say that he's the one that taught me the term sweet oak. And I mean, it's 100% true.
No. Let's be honest. He taught you like 99% of what you know about everything, and then you come on this podcast and try to say that it's your knowledge, but it was really Tom.
That is a
17-year Evan Williams from Belgium.
Oh, that's gonna be delicious. What is it? 86 proof?
I think so. It's light, and then I've got Elijah Craig Barrel Proof #1.
Oh yeah. Let's be clear, because this whole #1 thing, can we just like scratch that? That's not really #1.
Well, yeah, you said one was a gift shop, right? And then there was actual release.
So the #1 is the series that came out with the gift shop. It was like the traditional label.
Okay.
And they were full barrel proof.
What's the proof on that you're holding up right there?
129.7.
Oh yeah, it's like written in at the bottom, right?
Yep. And there was a whole series of them. I think there's like 6 of them. And they came out before the black label that actually went to stores. Those are the money barrels. I mean, not that the other stuff isn't bad. It's not bad at all. 1, 2, and 3 are great. Of the black label. I got to be clear, right? I mean, I don't know.
So back to Bottle and Bond. You go first.
Yeah, Big Cat, go first.
No. You are the guest. You go first.
Well, I love Dan. I love the pre-fire Bottle and Bond Dan. I think that you get that right DSP number, not to be mentioned. You can't beat it. I was on a boat last year fishing, and I kid you not, I went through half that bottle super quick. It's just so honey forward, this light touch of oak. It's beautiful. What else do I like bottled and bond? I don't know. I'm always drinking those high proofers. I gotta go with 3.
Yeah, you got 3. So far you only have 1.
2, Jesus.
Huh?
You can at least throw out 2.
I don't know. That's all I'm drinking if I'm going. I mean, how far do you?
I mean, like, do you drink Old Bardstown Bottle and Bond ever? Do you drink JTS Brown? Do you drink the Old Fitz Bottled and Bond?
No, I don't drink any of that. Stuff's for the birds.
Do you even bourbon, bro?
Dan's or GTFO.
I'll definitely second the pre-fire dant. I've got a big boy somewhere that I hide for myself just because it gets mowed down if it comes out. The other 2 things I thought of were the National Distillers OGD.
Yep.
The different OGD back in the day. And then even now, or small batch. That's a for me. I'll take that over the single barrel or
man.
Most other EH Taylor releases. I mean, it wins for me easily.
I mean,
Small
Eric
batch.
Smith said it, but I'm surprised Zeke did not say it. Early times bottled and bond. Zeke was up on a soapbox about that for a very, very, very long time. I agree that it's a great value at $24 for a liter of cola. It's for a cop. And then you have
Litre?
Kyle Nelson says JTS bib, early times bib, and EHT is also great. I'm surprised people are not mentioning, the JTS Brown, Evan Williams Bottled and Bond, Old Bardstown, the
favorite.
Yeah.
Really go into stuff that's a little more elusive. Like it's not readily available because nobody's favorite is readily available. That's just how we are as people.
I know. I feel like Daniel was asking more like, what could he go get? Not like what is some unicorn shit that only you guys have bunkered away.
So I would agree with Zeke on the small batch, though. I mean, the new one is decent. It's really solid and it's not expensive. But that light orange one that was before, those are somewhere they're sitting around. Even secondary isn't bad. Those are fire. And then I did check on this JTS Brown, the new stuff on the shelf, if it's legit, because I saw people paying like $50 for it all of a sudden on secondary. It's good. It's good.
Wait, I mean, it's a $15 bottle. That's the thing is I wouldn't pay $50 for it on secondary.
No, $15 to $20. That's a great bottle.
Oh yeah. Whenever I go to Kentucky, I always get 2 or 3, and it's a great just daily drinker type bottle.
And I prefer that over early times.
Well, it's like what the Heaven Hill 6-year used to be when you could get it. You can go drive to Kentucky and get it for $10.99, or you can find it on secondary for $40 to $50. Like, why? They're everywhere.
And I'd rather drive up to Kentucky and get it because it gives Zeke something tonight to do for a couple of hours.
Which, man, secondary. Like, how in a recession did secondary just go ape shit?
I just want to know how EHT barrel proof is now going for BTAC.
The first ones were going for more than that, son. It started at $800.
Yeah.
Zeke,
wild.
You're about to start proxying stuff for me.
I mean, I'm not a guy.
Even old OA picks though, the old bottling, like $300.
Yep. I mean, the biggest shock is Rock Hill Farms for $250. Are you kidding me?
Like, I mean,
I don't get it. I don't get it. I freaking don't get it. It's like a decent Blanton's. If we consider Blanton's like your win all be all.
But even
Now
worse,
Daniel just said, "What about EHT store picks going for 450?" Well, how about EHT barrel proof picks going for 800? If you
No.
missed that,
4 proof picks. They're 100 proof. They started at 800.
yeah.
The 100 proof store pick started at 800. It was absurd.
If you don't have the original Binny's one, the single barrel EH Taylor, that dark ass one that they were like saying is ultra aged, this new stuff isn't anything like that. So don't even waste your money spending that crazy secondary.
Benny's got a good pick.
Years ago. Oh, I get it. They can't pick for shit. I mean, you know, they get lucky.
They didn't bring you in. That's the problem. How are you not on the pick committee at Benny's?
They don't like me. They banned me from any allocated barrels and everything. I got ratted out by someone who shall not be named.
Who's Voldemort?
I just want to know how many of you Chicago guys are banned from Benny's, because I'm getting on 2 hands now, I think.
Everyone.
But they still let a shop there.
I mean, sometimes if it's cheap and I need to go grab it. I'll
So Daniel said, "What are our reviews of Heaven Hill 27?" Not to cut you off, Tom. Zeke, didn't we do a show on that?
We did. I was a fan. I was impressed by it. I mean, it's a lot of it's 27 years. I didn't the Willet they did for Rick and his horse, but I thought it was a really good pour. And even at MSRP, I wouldn't buy it for myself. I'd buy it for a split. But I think
I think we both agreed that it was oaky, but I was surprised it wasn't over oaked.
No,
for the age.
By any means.
But it was one of those things where it was like for $450. It's a great bottle share. It's not one that, if I had that much disposable income, fine, I'd buy anything. But that one is more of a bottle share bottle. Tom, you have Heaven Hill 27?
I have. I liked it better than Parker's 24.
That is a glowing review over there.
Well, it depends what day of the week I'm drinking it. Like, you have to be in the mood for some oak, but it is better to me than like Parker's, the 1990. I don't remember if that was fall or spring, the 24. When I started getting to the middle of that bottle, I didn't care for it. Just a straight oak bomb.
I didn't get as much oak on that, even at 27 years, as when like an MGP turns.
Oh God, no, definitely not.
Like that's the thing about the 27 is you have to be in the mood for oak. And I think I said in the interview, kind of going back, I had to kickstart my memory, but I said it pairs very, very well with a cigar. So if you are a cigar smoker, something like that is going to go great with it. But it's not like an MGP when that turns and you're like, oh, damn, this is over oaked.
Yeah. Oh, open that. Tell us about that Beyond Dupe.
I got it right here, bud. I'm working on those.
Dibs.
Well, we're going to get off here soon. So,
which is your favorite turkey of all of them? I mean, I'm sure I've asked you this before, but I don't remember.
I honestly love like if you get the right year, Cheesy Gold, it's awesome. And the reason I'm not picking Beyond Dupe is because that is a great pour, but they're so close. And when I think about value for what I'm getting, I'm going to go Cheesy Gold Foil. Oh, and above that, I would say the Tribute.
Is that the decanter?
No. The Tributes. There's 2 versions. There's a U.S. version, and then there's an export version. The export comes in like the Kentucky Spirit bottle. The other one comes with a gold foil top, and it's kind of shaped like some of those newer MGP bottles.
Initially, the Beyond Duke seems sweeter than CGF to me. I feel like the cheese has a little more funk to it.
That might be the case.
My favorite wild turkey is Cheesy Gold Foil, and then any pick dad drinking bourbon has done.
By the way, those two were stellar. But have you had the 15-year tribute, Big Cat?
Yeah, it's great.
That's amazing pour.
It
Amazing.
is a very, very good pour. Those old 1980s, early 90s turkey, and it's just it makes you think something about, and Zeke is probably, I'm glad he's sitting down. It really makes me think a lot about the 80s and the early 90s, that pre-fire era.
Yep.
About the wood that everybody was using. So I know we talk about pre-fire, post-fire Heaven Hill, but I almost think it's like the golden age of bourbon, where that sweet oak was in there across every distillery, because there's a reason why those 80s CGFs are so good. There's a reason why, those old national distillers, Eagle Rares that everybody loves, all that, or sorry, the old national distillers, old granddad, sorry, not Eagle Rare. The old granddad, things like that people love from the 80s, makes you think there had to be something different with the wood. And of course, we had the wood shortage that just happened a few years ago. I mean, things change now. It's not the same way that they're putting things in the barrel now that they were putting it in before.
Yeah. Without getting into like massive conspiracies, that goes with anything, right? Anything that you produce a little bit artificially or more man-made versus naturally growing in the environment, like perhaps that wood from those trees, it's going to be different. I mean, there has to be something with it.
So something got to mention, Daniel Ball had one last question. What about Blom, Nodder, Bourbon? So he has a question here. Kyle Nelson is being nice enough to jump in and try and answer it in the chat for him. But Daniel, basically there's a whole bunch of MGP that was bought up by a few different distilleries. And this is back when MGP was, it was $300 a barrel way back in the day. So if you think about what they're selling it for now and what these distillers and distilleries are putting it out at, it was $300 a barrel when they first bought it. So you have the first one to really hit the scene was Smooth Ambler with their Old Scout. Then you had, OKI, you had Belle Meade, you had Traverse City, you had all these different things that came out, and it was all sourced from MGP in Indiana. Nodder Bourbon, if you think about the way that you say the name, Blom Brothers were very transparent that this is not our bourbon with Nodder Bourbon. So they sourced it from MGP, and, the price just went up with their cast strength distillery only releases and some of the picks that they had going around, and it was the craze of MGP that got a lot of people going. So that is everything about Nodder Bourbon.
Yeah, and
anything you guys want to add?
They're out of MGP.
That Papa's Tea pick we all got, that was the last pick they did, right?
Yeah, there was 2 barrels left, right? And I didn't get any, and I know someone else didn't get any, but we wanted to mention any names.
I'm not going to mention any names, but this hypothetical person that did not get anything was promised by the leader of a group that he was going to get it, and then was taken off the list because there was a cross of wires. And I was always, my dad always taught me, like, if I can give you two pieces of advice, number 1, don't be that guy, and number 2, don't cross the streams. And he crossed the streams.
Now, John, would you say that is like total betrayal, like a coup on a pirate ship, basically overthrowing the captain?
I felt stabbed in the back. Like, I don't feel like that person was the captain, but I think that was a complete stab in the back. It wasn't even a stab in the front, because, like, to the front, that person told the other person, like, you will get a bottle. You know what I mean? Like, I think if your word is your bond, and if you tell that person, like, you absolutely will get a bottle no matter what, and then you don't give that person a bottle, and you say, but like, no, you're my boy. I'm not giving you a bottle because I understand that you'll understand that I can't give it to you. I mean, that's kind of a kick in the nuts, isn't it?
Well,
right between the legs.
while you two are lamenting over there, I did see our buddy from 5280, Nate, pop up there for a second and chime in. And if he's still watching, Nate, what all do you have coming from Lux Row pick-wise? I know you got a slew of stuff coming out of them, and we mentioned a show or two ago that I think before the current situation, they were going to have a lot of picks roll out this year. Wolfpack may have to put them on our radar for sure.
Well, tell Kev Hall whatever you think. and then Kev, we're gonna wrap it up here soon because it's been an hour and I have to go edit the rest of our podcast. So this is actually interesting because Nate said he actually got the last private barrel pick of Nodder Bourbon, and it was a fantastic honey barrel. I thought Papa's Tea was the last private barrel pick of Nodder Bourbon.
You know what, John? I bet if we asked Nate for a bottle of his last one, he would have committed to it and said, "Yeah, guys, I'll get it to you."
I think if he committed to us and said, like, you are going to get a pick, I don't picture Nate as someone who would back out of his word.
No, I remember seeing pictures. Like, people camped out for this thing for days. I mean, it was like B-Tac.
What, Papa's Tea?
No, that pick they got. I didn't realize came after Papa's Tea, but I remember seeing pictures because they split it with the store. And there were people that literally did chairs, the full Monty, like camped out like a day or two before it was released just so they could get one.
So Nate said he has 2 Ezra, 2 Rebel Yell, and 3 of the new Yellowstone. You have been busy, Nate.
Is that what he wants for that Nodder? For that Blom? He just wants all.
Does he want any gold as best?
Some Gib? I wouldn't trade Gib for any Blom. Let's just say that.
No, I'm not saying for the Blom. I mean, he's got 2 Ezra, 2 Rebel Yell, 3 of the new Yellowstone. I mean, I'll trade one of each of those for 1 Gib.
I got you, boo.
Yeah. They have been killing it in picks, and luckily we get most of what they do pick. And
no, you get most of what they do pick. Again,
I share it with you every now and then.
Every now and then. You never actually say, like, hey, I got this thing from Nate. I just happened to see, like, right when you kill the bottle, I was like, where'd you get that? You're like, oh, Nate sent it. And I'm like, I was friends with Nate first.
I told you there's 2 levels of good. There's good, like, man, this might be gone tomorrow. And then there's that, like, upper tier of, like, all right, this is just so absurdly good, I'm going to hide it from myself and visit it, rarely. When they're, that first tier of good, like $35 bottle, and you're like, man, this is great. I wake up tomorrow, my wallet's not going to feel bad. Boom, done.
Sold.
All right. Well, Tom, we've loved hanging out with you. It's been over an hour. We know people don't have a lot of stuff to do. I mean, Kyle was like, oh, dang, Gib is that good, better than Blom. I mean, it's all MGP. It's just different shades of the same stuff. So I'm not trying to put anything down on the pick. It's a very, very, very good pick. Getting technical here, what I like about Gib is it's a 14-year, but it was aged a little bit longer in Michigan, so it's not over oaked. And we could get down a whole rabbit hole that, Tom, I'm going to stop us from doing, but the Ricks in Lawrenceburg, Indiana, it's a cement warehouse, so the proof actually goes down. You could tell a lot about MGP based off of the proof that you're getting it at the age of whether or not it was aged in Lawrenceburg, Indiana, or if it was taken off property and gone someplace else. So the Gib was actually aged longer in Michigan than it was in Indiana. So it was a really cool and unique pick. The proof didn't go down too much. And I think the 14 years, that colder, that whole colder thing, of being in Michigan, it didn't make it over oaked. And that's what made that Gold's Best a little bit special.
It's the wood, man. Back to the point you mentioned. I mean, MGP, no matter where they put any barrel that they rolled out anytime recently, they couldn't age it that long and it have that kind of profile. I mean, same run as Fuck Cancer, the one Mike just did, 15 years. It's still not an oak bomb. I mean, there's plenty of whoever had it, 11 and 12 years, they just get charry and salty. It's different wood. I mean, that's it.
Well, and MGP did have different sources for their cooperages. So depending on where things were, I mean, there's a whole bunch of different cooperages. They weren't like married to one when they were putting stuff in the barrel.
Look at me.
Yeah. It's big love.
Big love.
Anyways, Tom, where
All
can the folks find it's OG_Flight Club on Instagram?
Yeah, it's under repair.
Yeah, when was the last post?
Was the last post in 2013?
Oh, geez. No way. No, I don't think so. Look, we'll fix this. We'll put it up on the page later. I'll get it all prettied up. We got a Facebook.
Do you want me
get
to
it done.
just take over your Instagram for you?
That would be great. If
And
we
we'll
could just
call
turn
it
it into
Wolf
Flight
Pack?
Club Wolf Pack. Boom.
Yeah. We'll do Flight Club DDB Wolfpack.
There you go. There you go. Also, Kyle, hit up John for a sample of Gib. He's really generous with those. And he's willing to pour some. Huh?
He's got to open it first.
So Nate, the Flight Club, it was a Flight Club and Dad's Drinking Bourbon. It wasn't just Flight Club that picked that. It's the Wolfpack is us together. It is Dad's Drinking Bourbon and Flight Club. I gotta mention that is the one thing that's kind of like, I was like, hey, Zeke and I were there too. So many people were like, you have that Flight Club, and it's because you guys made the damn neck tag.
Barrel 2 made that.
Well, they wouldn't let us change the tag after he put it in already. They actually put that tag up before you go pick.
Well, this year, can we please change the medallion so it's not?
I also suggest that we do a Instagram that you run, John, and I have admin privileges for Wolfpack, Flight Club, DDB Connection.
Oh wait, Daniel Ball. So are you there with Camphor and Kretz? So my old college roommates are watching. So what's up, guys? Miss you. Come down and drink some beer and some bourbon with us.
Right.
Anyways, Tom, we love you. Go ahead and find us on Facebook at Dad's Drinking Bourbon, Twitter at Bourbon Dads, Instagram at Dad's Drinking Bourbon. Find us wherever you download your podcasts. Leave us an open and honest review like we leave open and honest reviews about the whiskey we drink. Zeke, where else can the folks find us?
Good old Nashville, Tennessee. And, maybe on the road towards the end of June, we got some Wolfpack Knob Creek to pick up.
Can't wait. Tom, thanks for hanging out with us and thanks for shooting the shit.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. Have a good one.
Cheers.
Cheers.